Edem is here. Edem, good morning.
Morning.
You good?
By the grace of God.
Thank God. We're blessed here too. Zion Bahau. I like him. You know, he's a friend.
Yeah.
And he spoke very well and he enlightened us about a lot of things. Na ye Quran na ye nim. Okanya mabibre. Intino. We might have to play the rest back.
Okay.
And then after that, we would also ask you about journalism and then most of some of the things are okay. All right? So, you might want to go watch it. So we continue the conversation we had yesterday, and we're talking about the blogger's dilemma. To recap it quickly, we were told, you know, by Zion, say, you know, and if you do not know, well, it's true. So there are types of bloggers. Will be no hotels and restaurant, new ones, be a bachelor baby or so. Ebia onu otisi ayi there were so many shows those times teteno na blogging by no obeti a friend is saying greetings from abroad obeti there were all, you know, those things were things that I could call it blogging. It is giving you information, ideas of places. Zion saw no dear no, you know, a celebrity lifestyle, you know, and no na edimumpa 10% na woman on your de can be or tibia so no so a person into no so share any idea. Why are you taking Zion's idea too personal and then you are not taking obi or tro comment be that was on no comment no 1970 under comments on abuza you know, there's so many things that the social media has brought, and me I try to stay out of problem because you know me, I don't run from problem, but I don't want problem. What about the money? But I will not come and look for your problem. You know, I just stay in my lane. But this is what we are talking about. Zion said he doesn't control. You know, Kabisa, he doesn't control umbusti way, no umbusti way. Yeah, will say, oh, we are still talking about love. Yeah, will say, yeah, oh, Zion, or you Zion, you should move, or pay where some more, pay with a pass, or time, baby, that papa, or pay Vivian Joe. It's a Vivian Joe, numbers, no, story, no, yeah, no, echo. And I read a party or quite story, but I be one who not say, oh, no, when you had a Jim Busti. Now, can kind of, now, will comment, no. When I watch any our pen in your pen, I want to watch less as some no kind of towasumana and towasum. So we ask, na caption there.
You see, the caption is what most people have issues with it. A caption, they all show at that point in time, no, what he or she understands about posting, no, and our show.
And also your opinion.
With caption, it shouldn't be opinion.
Okay.
It should be factual, but about the content of our channel.
Okay.
And obiani how who there. The me na me try no me share content now. I think say this is how I can summarize it. Was a summary.
Yeah.
And now na obetro the whole content no in the caption. A summary of everything no. Nte bia ho na ema issue ne ba no. So obiani how o summarize it na there. Nte bia me dream say bia this line of conversation as this line of what has happened no. And I'm saying me so as caption. Obi so say I didn't want you to this line. That na mean so all line now open but enya me line na me pen no. So I don't know
I'm sure that is what sparks the
yes,
fire.
because me I always say caption na me use no nipa no okay and I say I dey connect.
Wow.
It's yeah, what is my problem?
Then what's the problem?
I don't have an issue. But say any more crowd there any day problem because it happens at times.
Yes.
Obo so I will say na we use this adjective. And somebody ask why should I didn't any question can use that adjective. I remember somebody had a million followers.
Yes.
And he was jubilating. So now 1 million followers on Instagram. And somebody will say, like, Akwesi Mensah gets 1 million followers after struggling. You are jubilating, meaning such an so
Obitia says how you're struggling.
because no, and one brand can jubilate and getting 1 million followers is not easy.
Yeah. Yes.
So you see, because I didn't
know you
struggle. Meanwhile,
Let me ask about the legalities. Have you ever posted BBR you've had to be compelled to take it down?
Yeah, well, there are plenty times.
Plenty time.
What are the legalities are about hito? And I'm saying this so that younger bloggers will also pay attention because say kamia yes obi asori a me so me blog or mu tumi kra hu page na mo so repost wo mo de so. And it's causing a lot of problems. Maybe onim say wo de ya fra wa catch us pull it down now so no or de akwakoto no. What hits you? And I say who makes sure say no, this one take it down.
Okay, so that is very, very important. Any story biana yere about some stories that you have to be very, very careful. Especially now that we have ghost pages on Instagram and Facebook, especially on Instagram. So we are blogger. Now those ghost pages next year, I am home about
Okay.
Because I don't know why they do that. But some of the stories they put out are not credible.
Okay.
Now you are the person in Ebiazar and Felix. Mako Ajua DNA page or Facebook or be name no. You say you can buy Odindina you or just any name.
Yeah.
Your name nipa behind it.
Behind.
I hope you say something about Sako there. Whether it is true or not, we don't know. Then one your name was I Felix. What find that story no on the platform. Ebiana enyampa. Now if you wo and I'm not even just that. There are certain things where you have to be very careful when putting them out. Because Ebiana yampa but bibi kan ho enyampa. But that na enyampa no kwa the issue bebro.
Okay.
Ebia okono o shata yele na de koy ukodu fo na one ti ahwe na me maka no shata yele no afo na de ne bokodu as o te hwe baba na ebia that enti ahwe na amaso that intro no kwa no etima ho ba
in trouble.
That so when you're writing story, make sure that everything in it is true. Yes, just one thing every time about and don't forget say there's nothing like mature 2 years ago. Something you did to how can you say and
oh yeah.
So far as it has happened in Kwan Charlie court names as an account.
Now having said that, now the other word is the alleged. Alleged that.
Value.
How do you use that to protect yourself or like how does that come in? Say alleged na yes say it's no sound about say me say alleged.
That is why you have to know Edmona we know. Some of us we've not been to journalism school.
Yeah.
I started 12 years back.
Yeah.
This year it will be 11 years. We've learned on the job.
Okay.
So as and when Edmona we know, no share a lot of things in it. So one come school now so we just like how we enter now. As and when you are doing now we so much but yes say yes showing will be even how to write story. I learned it on the job.
Oh right.
Me you know now you Chelsea now we read the amount for content. Now it got a time I can't Zion. There are certain words come back challenge what you watch. Oh try who say no. Me just story ya. Me think say empemfo be ready. Obi onima de chen be ready.
Yes.
And I mean obi on so on tibro for be ready. Ntemani nya say what tibro too much. Now obi already on tibro for on tiase. So we man sit obi a so we na make sure say baby mu nyedu. Ntino adwuma na end there you have to learn on the job. Say be on home mass. So as you are learning now then you'll be learning certain technicalities.
Okay.
Even court news component you ensure normal say the pola castle.
Yes.
There are certain words be also used to attach that story that we say no way a court asem almost certain legal words be used to.
Yeah.
So you say you just write it try at the whole no. So as and when you know now all learning on the job.
Still on the compliance issue. Right now, baby, we're doing it. You don't want one word be and a phrase be pair and can't story be about pull your whole institution down. Do you have a legal team? Do you have people who advise you say no, wait, no. You say. Do you have people guiding you?
Who are lawyer?
And I say, who are lawyer?
That one.
Okay.
Not lawyer or that periods, but I have lawyers at Asemba. I fall on them for them to give me advice. That story me go. And I say Asemba. And I say this is how you can go about issue.
Okay.
And I say obi threaten wa na actually
and also
oh Lord like threaten. When you know we but me there because me call them me go with that. I mean you have to try and then because you pull it down one.
Just pull it down.
Pull it down one, you lose nothing. In as much as people think about your credibility, no. It doesn't mean say story now putting out no Air Force. Because I remember actress B was called on radio for a different issue. And a friend on us, oh, me home family, me go hospital, and doctor say me I say. I reported on the fact that I was in home family, and I didn't lie. But on the issue, say that is not why she was called on radio. And I'm like, did I lie about what you said? No. but she wasn't happy about it.
She doesn't want it highlighted.
Oh.
No, but you said it on radio. No, wait, that's the issue. Are you trying to tell me that my platform is bigger than the radio that you said it on?
No, you see, there's something they call emphasis. Ya can't say ha. So you say my there.
I know.
Ya can't say ha. So what you say? 24 million ate. 24 million ate ni ya can't you. Yani Zion tie. 24 million, maybe more. Ate ni ya can't. Yan fane sa. Ate ni ya can't ye. Adi ate so. So what sound kofa biem eba. Me sure na me repeat it. Uni mentia because aso onipa ne pra ko bring you. I also had to go to lawyers every now and then. So it's asem na wo kan no na wo kan na na Zion na kan. But Zion kan na o makan. So oni Ghana for near refi. Afa di ade chia Zion asan be posti assembly o say and because the person that posted is no other person than Zion. Then the emphasis because then everybody is going there. Now Zion bekani ebefa. So that kind of emphasis. That is to say many just say what can be say, you learn on the job because we all do. We still are. You learn on the job to the extent say what can be say you have writers, you have this, you have that. Yet hey. You obviously makabi or train a baby because no him producer and gajam Jamaica.
And that's what issues to a lot of
people do not
TV hosts.
Yes, people do not watch TV the way we sitting there know TV.
Yes.
People do not read. People do not know the blogger's dilemma or the blogger's lifestyle or the nejuma as a blogger. No one on Zion na kwa say ni say because na Zion right a bit Troy na Zion ni ho.
Oh.
It's your friend na Zion wa ba Zion kwa friend a lawyer. So what you say?
Baby, you see, this thing it has happened several. You see, myself for the past like 4 years on my website, I've not even written a dot on my website. I have writers.
Yeah.
And I'm one of it would be like big person. I'll send him a link. Zion, and I'm like she was disappointed because I'm a close friend.
Very close friend.
And I'm like, I'm not even seen the story myself.
I've seen it.
That friend watching my boys, they say Charlie, and I want to read the story. I'm like,
there's nothing wrong with it.
But and she's at times so far as it is a website you would think but I mean my wife say I don't want to restrict my voice. So far as the story is true
because now something that Cassandra asked, and I'm going to pull her back. She asked that, but let me say this: who blogs the blogger? Zion fell to me, Gina Kroma say, "Bear 1 month, no Ginny Ding." I'm saying that because sometimes I, for one, years ago, to support somebody, it's always the ones that you do not take a dive for. It was just to support a friend. The next morning, the person do one some way, we make the team make some way. That be how go fit talk about. The person way me a help, do the thing some way, make it make some way. I swear, me did a TV show, and the next moment, me so go crying over home. If you live in a glass house on those, if you live in and yes, I'm granny, and then to come and read the story, but
your own body went.
Yeah, but this didn't even happen. Like, okay, but if person's I mean, say the truth. I mean, and this is me helping, and you're like, okay, like, have you ever been in that instances where you have to explain so much about your own work? Sana walking, and then you have pulled it down, probably. But then you have to go the extra to actually udim sana Ghana for ne asunete ya na yesa asona na obese nya ne biemu ya nam kan me amebo no and tansi have you had to go through that way and how did you do it?
You see, when you write a story, especially when the story is false, I mean, you write a rejoinder and then apologize.
Yes.
So I think that is the worst I've done. I mean, I do that when I realize that the story is completely false.
Completely false.
When it is completely false, yeah. But if maybe I'm a tron, maybe I am part, but any what the dear, I'll just apologize to you. I mean, such instances have happened 1 or 2. Say, and yes, be a my control. what I've written is true, but you, the individual, know about you, maybe
You felt like in your son.
then I will just apologize to you. But if maybe the pa engine my phone, NGB phone, no matter what your phone, that one is false.
Yeah.
That one they have to write a rejoinder. Say, oh, what I wrote was false, and that I apologize, and then they move on. But say, I'm a destroyer, but when in June, a different from say, me control.
That one so only do one eye fine our industry.
And that makes the job difficult.
And I've news so said, do one now so shadan yadao our industry. I've seen people fighting you and why or what so you don't even want to reply it. I've seen people coming at him so hard he wouldn't reply. And
so many
yes,
years
and I've seen it doesn't mean that you do not break down. Tell me you do not break down. We've been having different conversations aside the conversations that you're watching on the screen. Edem is here. Edem. What's up, Paul?
I mean, a lot. He said a lot. But we need to make this differentiation. Blogging, most of the things the boys do now is basically vlogging.
Vlogging?
Yes. The vlogging is video content. So that's what the Hyper, Sammy K. The blogging is a website where you share your opinion on. So the bloggers, that is how it started. I mean, Adebra, he started with the website. He was blogging. Then Zion also started with a website, zionfelix.net. So it starts as blogging. In the past, that is how it used to be, from the tabloids to blogging. Then the advent of YouTube,
The vlogging.
The vlogging, because people could create video content, share their opinion. To blog, it's basically to share an opinion. So some have it on food, some have it maybe fashion, some lifestyle, like what most of them do. And what they do, the video content they share is vlogging. They vlog. So, I mean, these are some of the differences that we have to look at. And if you look at the kind of job they do, and journalists, whether you are entertainment journalist, you are court reporter, you are political, you report on politics, security decks, we have one principle as a journalist and one element as journalists. So as a journalist, you need to go by them. And at times, there are mistakes. People do say certain things about journalism, which I see journalism moving beyond. I mean, if you read more about, I mean, some of the propounders of this theory, and I mean, the new people coming in, you see that we've moved beyond just entertain, educate, and inform. That is what most people basically say. Journalism is about entertain, we educate, we inform. We've moved beyond this three. It's about 6 now. There is that facilitating, there is that evaluation, and there's the monitoring. So what happens is that you can, on this show, we can say that, what is your problem? Then then you go to the assembly, you go and show them. This is their problem. You are facilitating to solve a certain project.
Okay.
So that is another arm of journalism, facilitation. Then when they say, okay, we will do it from next week, then they start doing it. You go there to evaluate the kind of work they are doing. Then you report on, at the end of the year, who say, the concrete, then maybe after they do it, after some time, you go there to monitor what they've done, to see, they've done it. So, I mean, we have moved beyond just entertain, educate, and inform. We've gone to facilitation, evaluation, monitoring. And as a journalist, you need to be guided by crucial two elements of journalism you need to be guided by. That is, we have our first objective is to the truth. We have a responsibility to the truth.
No quarry.
No, to the truth. Because, I mean, as what should be your guiding principle as a journalist is the truth. I mean, that is what you should be guided by. Because one of the things when you lose as a journalist, it's like your career has ended, is integrity. And you can build integrity through truth. You need to be truthful. So when you are reporting, you need to be guided by the truth in what you are doing. Then there is that we have a certain responsibility towards the citizen. So that's what we say national interest. So the nation is made up of citizens. So when you have a story and you want to do the story, you need to think about the national interest. It is why most people who have tried to sue Anas mostly lose at court, because they look at the national interest of the things he's done. Maybe he has broken into somebody's privacy, but what gives him that room to escape is the national interest. Though he's broken into somebody's privacy, what is the impact of the reportage or the investigations he's done? Is it to benefit the nation? If you wait, you see that the national interest. So we have that responsibility to the citizens that we need to put them first in whatever we have in some of these elements. And the most important, we have many code of ethics and other things, but one of the guiding values, principles that every journalist must live by are basically 5. Truth and accuracy. Somebody tells you something, you need to verify. That's why we have that element of verification. You need to verify, cross-check, to ensure that what you are putting there is truth and accuracy. And at times the truth can be something, but accuracy, every journalist must strive to be accurate in whatever you are putting out, because it has consequences. If you do not have accurate and what you are putting out is not factual, you can be sued. There is a libel, there is the slander, there is the most common one where people sue you for telling lies about them.
Defamation.
Defamation. I mean, so you need to ensure that what you are putting out is accurate. Accuracy is very key in our profession as journalists. And another principle we must be guided by is fairness. Fairness, impartial. I mean, that's why we say there are sides of a story. A story can have more than one side. So I heard you've slapped somebody. If I'm not taking the facts from the police and somebody tells me, I need to listen to the other side of the story. I need to be fair. I need to be impartial. I don't need to have like stance in what I'm doing. So it's very important. And independence. Independence. As a journalist, don't be guided by, I mean, I'm exposed. You are exposed because of your work. You have to be independent, but don't go and be spokesperson for people. That you will not report on what they are doing and rather be running into affairs of others. You need to be guided by that independence of thought. You need to be guided by that independence of practice so that you will not, do certain things. And some of the things that we also need to be aware of is the humanity when it comes to the principles of journalists. And if you know that humanity aspect and practices well as a journalist, it will even guide you in the kind of headlines you put across. The humanity is that whatever story we do as journalists has an impact on people. It can hurt them, it can destroy them. So even if you are putting the kind of pictures you put out, you do not do stories to ridicule people, do not put headlines to hurt people. Someone has been raped. You are reporting. As a journalist, you need to be guided by that humanity part of a journalist to give a human face to your reportage. And don't say, and a pen drive, a download it. That person who has been raped might be listening or watching you. The family. So think about the impact. That is humanity. Think about what they will be going through as people and be guided by. So, these are some of the things that when we allow ourselves to be guided by as journalists, we'll be able to, live up to the expectation, and practice.
Last time we were here, we talked about traditional media, okay? All right. And then we talked about the social media, all right? Now, today we're talking about vlogging, we're talking about blogging. I'm very happy that you have given us a brief and a good insight about journalism and some of the things, the code of ethics and how journalists, do their stuff and how they are supposed to do their stuff. So, and I want to be sure if bloggers, though they have their opinion, you know, you're just having an opinion to what has happened. Okay, you just put out your opinion. So then, do they also not have a responsibility or then a code of ethics to say their captions or say or caption like you're saying somebody's been raped, you don't caption it in such a way that you know it's yes you take away the humanity away from it. Do bloggers not have a responsibility of also reporting the truth, you know, and being fair on both sides? To say, could be Alexa say, Alexa can't say, or say, baby dapa, uncle, dentist in the hall, me yapa, uncle dentist in the hall, and I say, ni say, but then one baby dapa say, baby dapa, is it true? Say, the fairness part of it. So what about bloggers? Don't they have any responsibility or ethics, code of ethics or something?
Because they do not belong to association or their profession is not that formalized, they do things by themselves. But in as much that you are not formalized, you don't belong to association where it has code of ethics like journalists with GJ, you must be guided by certain conventions of the space you are in, because you are basically doing some of the things journalists do. So you must be guided by, you can learn some of this on yourself. Go Google the GJ Code of Ethics, what is in, read on, the works of a journalist, look at the principles, look at the elements. Then, aside that, you need not to forget that there are legalities when it comes to some of these things. And the legalities, every society has certain laws to shape the people. So, in 2020, we passed the, Cyber Security Act 1038. That Cyber Security Act, if you're a blogger, if you're a vlogger, you must be guided by it because it's dangerous. Now, it's the last time when we were at the RGP's place, I asked him that false publication can even land you in prison. So I was asking that, is it not that maybe the criminal libel law, which was taken in, has been introduced in the cybersecurity, but it's to bring about some sanity in the space. So, if you go and post even nudity, you can land yourself in jail. So you need to be guided by some of these things, the laws, defamation. And people think that using allege is not, it's not,
Take away the fact that
remedy
you've
to
said it.
defamation. Allege doesn't mean that you've not defamed somebody. So don't go and hide under allege. They can see you for defamation. You need to be aware of these things. Slander, libel, go and write something which is false about, you can be sued. So there are laws you need to be guided by, and there are principles of the job.
Okay, and let's look at limitations that trained journalists, encounter that bloggers may get away with.
At times, journalists, because it is now that people have their own platforms that they do things. But in the traditional way of being a journalist, every newsroom has a certain kind of a structure. So there is a news editor, there is a subdesk, there is an editor, at times even the deputy. So whatever you have done as a journalist, when you bring it out for publication, it will go through the checks. So they will serve as limitation for you, the journalist. So your news editor, maybe he has sent you an assignment, you come, you write your story, it goes to him, he checks, and will ask you about certain facts you didn't put in or certain aspects of the story which are not in. Maybe you misrepresent something, they can take it out. It goes to the subdesk, they can also take certain things out. And the editor will also have that power to make it pass or not. So like journalists have those checks as a limitation to ensure that we do not, put out certain things which are false or misreported. These are some of the, limitations and guide. And other limitations are the principles and the elements that I mentioned, that you are guided by these things. So you are doing a story about a child. You know that, in journalism, when the person is below 16 and is in certain aspects of the news, you need to cover the face. You don't need to show the face. And you need to know that when there is this objectivity as part of your practice. So when you're putting out information, you need to be objective in your practice, and there is that kind of impartiality. You need to be guided by these things. So, some of these principles, some of these elements goes to serve us I mean, that limitation for journalists.
But with the vloggers and bloggers, they
Because
don't have
it's
those
mostly,
checks.
they don't have those checks.
Okay.
And it's about them, what they think, mostly about their opinion. So it comes to mind and they go out. But because of the nature of society, some of the things, you can share your opinion, but you can run in problems. So that's why they say you have freedom of speech. That's, is it Congo, one of the leaders? I can guarantee you freedom of speech, but I can't guarantee you freedom after speech. You understand? I mean, one of the dictators is the president. So you can say whatever
you can say whatever you want, but I can't.
freedom after your speech cannot be guaranteed. So you can share your opinion as a blogger, but whether your opinion falls foul of the law will be after. So you can land in a very hot trouble. So you just have to be guided by some of these things so that you'll be free.
Okay, so let's talk about entertainment reporting and blogging. It's a field that, well, you very much. What is the difference now? Is it not that the bloggers are, getting way ahead of a journalist when it comes to a newspaper, yada yada, the traditional way of reporting entertainment? Because in cafes and idea, you like you say, it will always be there. When we speak about the truth, both sides, you can't take it from a journalist, you can't take it from the traditional media. They are always going to be the number one. If you want the truth, you actually say, my uncle has it, had it. They dare not. But still, as a blogger, it's enough entertainment in the journey.
Oh, it's not like that, but it looks like that.
Okay.
Because of, I mean, the kind of generation we have. We have the Gen Zs and we have very active network who are on social media. And I mean, some of these bloggers have a lot of, numbers on their platforms. And I mean, when they post, we have what we call the real time. When they're able to reach their people at a certain space of time. And mostly journalists are taught not to, think of themselves as celebrities because they say that the only, at the point a journalist thinks that he or she is a celebrity, you lose out on other aspects of the profession. So journalists most of the times want to, be laid back or something, but what they want to do is they are guided by that integrity. So they want to work but ensure quality. Most of the time, it's about platform. So these people are using a channel and they are doing well. You need to move the brand to a certain point. If you do not do, a new channel can come and take you out of the business. We all know how Edem
you said
started.
it the last time,
and the
yeah.
new channels came, and some of the guys are more louder than he is. So that is how it is. Today, maybe it's Instagram you want. Now we have the TikTokers who are also very influential. So another platform will come, but the journalists, you can take advantage of all of these platforms. So what is important is you can build your numbers and you use your numbers to educate, to, bring that difference.
So can you say that a journalist can be a blogger? A journalist can be a vlogger?
Yes, because even in the journalism practice, there is what we call editorial. And when it comes to editorial in journalism, it's about sharing your opinion. So, that blogging concept is in editorial because in editorial, if you take a newspaper, there's an editorial column where the editor, or it becomes like the position of the newspaper, or TV, that sort of TV program. When you watch Samson Yadi on Joy Prime, before he starts the show, he comes with his opinion. That is his editorial. So that is a blogging in a way, vlogging in another form too. So it's opinion based,
but
and journalists do share their opinion. And at times, what are basically in journalists' own is that journalists will present you with fact and quality information.
Right.
That is what at times some of them do not have. If you watch some of the breakdown shows, those coming from people who have journalism background and the breakdown coming from people who do not, at times some of them do not even know how to represent the fact, how to present the information to people, and they resort to insult and other things. So we do share our opinion in our scheme of work in another way.
Brilliant. Thank you to Edem. Brilliant. Edem is always, I'm so happy to know him. He shares knowledge, real good knowledge. And I hope someone's also with TV.